Ram Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram.
Cloth we can buy the $3 50 so it's nice design, design sheets. You can just put it for 10 days.
Yes.
We don't need to spend $500 for ideally waste. Yeah.
Next 30 minutes.
Any product buy.
Oh, very good. So last question you do. Yeah, I will next one. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Hare
Yes,
Krishna,
we
Prabhu.
can hear you,
Yes,
Prabhu.
we can hear you, Prabhu.
Thank you. Like to welcome all the devotees to this special prayer session for Guru Maharaj. Like to thank all the devotees who joined us. We have been doing japa till now for Guru Maharaj. ना उसको छोड़ दीजिए तो उसको म्यूट ही रखा है आपके प्लीज अनम्यूट 2 सेशन चल I correct correct. So like to chant Guru Maharaj Pranam mantra first. Prabhupada Pranam mantra, Panchatattva mantra, Hare Krishna mantra. Then we start the session. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swami Tinamine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gauragata Damadaya Nagar Gramadharine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Tinamine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश धारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौर भक्त हरे कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे गुरुदेव जयप्रताप स्वामी महाराज गुरु महाराज की जय जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय. Like to welcome all the devotees to this special JSSS gathering from ISKCON West Sydney to pray for Guru Maharaj's good health and recovery. And I would like to thank all the devotees who joined us from different places. I know some of them, of course, from Brisbane, Murari Prabhu and his wife, and I don't know who the others are. Some of them have got different names. Of course, we got some Sydney devotees as well. Monica Mataji is online, and Padmaja Mataji is online from Sydney, I know. And we also have Premikas who joined. Premikas Prabhu. I think I can get it. He is going to narrate some pastimes of Guru Maharaj, and also anybody else would like to. That will be the first item of today's program. And after that, we will be having question answer session. Hare Krishna, Janaki Raman Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Are you there, Janaki
Hare
Raman
Krishna,
Prabhu?
Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu.
So this Q&A session, will Guru Maharaj be there for that, or who is going to handle that? Normally, how do you do it?
Q&A not from Guru Maharaj, it's from the speaker. For example, Vijay Gopi, what is his name? Who is going to be glorifying Guru Maharaj today?
Premikas Prabhu.
Devotees can ask question to Prem Vikas Prabhu.
Yeah, he's just joining, I think.
Yeah.
He's joined us, Percy Garcia. Premikas Prabhu, Hare Krishna, welcome. Hare Krishna, Premikas Prabhu.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, so Hare Krishna, please accept my humble obeisances. Prabhu.
Requesting Premikas Prabhu to glorify Guru Maharaj pastimes. That's the next part of the program. And then Premikas Prabhu will have a Q&A after that. That is 12:20. Then we have Dhanvantari prayers, Nasim Kavacha prayers. And 12:45, we'll have Kirtan and closure. So you got half an hour, Prabhu, Premikas Prabhu. Thank you for joining us. Hare Krishna, Premikas Prabhu, are you there? We can see you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so Guru Maharaj's glorification is something that is easy in a sense, because what we see in him is actually something that is utterly extraordinary. And look, we are disciples. He's our source of inspiration. He's our connection with Krishna, or direct connection with Krishna. So we have a bias, in a sense, you know? It's like when the son has a really good father, the father is always the biggest hero, you know? And the son is always looking upon the father with those eyes, you know? He's my hero. He's the best father in the world. So we as disciples, we have that attitude towards Guru Maharaj. And that attitude should be there. It's what allows the disciple to make spiritual progress. But even if I take that attitude of looking at Guru Maharaj as the most perfect Vaishnava, when I look at the objective facts, it is undeniable that we are witnessing something extraordinary. It is undeniable that we are witnessing something that is transcendental. It is undeniable that we're witnessing something that we only hear in the Puranas or in other Vedic scriptures. Guru Maharaj, in this phase of his life, in these pastimes of his life right now, is showing us how Krishna consciousness, how when Krishna is embedded in our consciousness, miracles occur. We transcend the body. We are not subject to the body. We rather the body becomes our subject. Guru Maharaj is showing us right now that through Krishna consciousness, when Krishna is imbibed in our consciousness, external aberrations, external inconveniences, disease, sickness, illness, paralysis, obstacles, they don't mean anything. That a consciousness that is focused on Krishna surpasses all this. And to me, that's human life, that is the potential of the human being being expressed at its maximum. That's what every human being on the planet secretly, unconsciously wants, to be able to go beyond this. Because as we know from the Bhagavad Gita, birth, death, old age, and disease is an axiomatic truth, is a self-evident reality in this world. Nobody can escape this. So if you cannot escape these factors, these four factors, what do you do when you are besieged by this? What do we do? You know? So there is no other way but our consciousness to transcend this. But how do you transcend it? The truth is that every human being on this planet is looking for that. All of us were looking for that. All of us, you know, in this material body, you have experienced, if you are past the age of 50, you start experiencing pains and things that you never experienced in your 20s. And you go to the doctor and they don't know what is happening. They may give you something, some pills, some medicine, some this and that. But the reality is that we don't want those. And the reality is that we cannot escape them. So since we cannot escape birth, death, old age, and disease, what do we do? The only solution is to transcend them. The only solution is for our consciousness not to be affected by it. Guru Maharaj is showing us right now how a body that is actually so riddled with disease and illness and sicknesses and inconveniences and pains of all types can be transcended when Krishna is in our consciousness. And it is actually amazing. It's actually so wonderful to see it. It's actually a blessing or good fortune. It's actually a privilege. We're very lucky, we're very fortunate that we are connected to such extraordinary human being, to such an exalted Vaishnava, and that is showing us how everything is possible when you're conscious of Krishna. This is my realization from observing, from just seeing Guru Maharaj's pastimes at this moment. I'm part of the health group. The devotees kindly, even though I don't deserve it, the devotees kindly added me. So There's a lot of doctors there, and I read the reports every day. And today, Mahavaraha Prabhu, the secretary, wrote, I'm just looking at it. That Guru Maharaj is experiencing some pains. Yeah, okay. Yeah, GM isn't feeling well. Guru Maharaj isn't feeling well today. We're taking him to the hospital soon. He was discharged 2 days ago. He's on dialysis now. So he may need another dialysis today. And then a doctor asks, what are Guru Maharaj's symptoms? Mahavaraha Prabhu replies, low saturation, nausea, tightness in the abdomen. So he's gone to the hospital right now. And when I was there recently, this was like kind of like a normal thing, you know, that happens to him. But what really, really, really blew my mind was the calmness, the peace of mind, the unaffectedness that Guru Maharaj, how Guru Maharaj goes through this. You know, like a sign of an advanced consciousness, a sign of an advanced human being is how do we deal with difficult moments? Because when things are going okay, everybody can be a nice person. When things are going fine, everybody's doing great, you know? But it is in the difficult moments where you show your real character. It is in tragedy, it is in extreme sickness where you show your real character. And often, you know, we need crutches, like what in psychology they call crutches. You know, if you're going through an emotional, through emotional pain, you know, people take shelter of things to be able to deal with the pain. You know, in a non-devotee circle, people can drink alcohol, can take drugs. Nowadays, you can binge watch on Netflix. You can do anything to be able to go through the pain, you know. But basically, that means you're escaping the pain. And when you escape the pain, you become weaker. Okay? In the Bhagavad Gita, the first definition of yoga that Krishna gives is equanimity. Samatvam in Sanskrit. To be steady, to be equal, equanimity. Samatvam yoga muchyate. But to be equanimous siddhi asiddhyo samabhutva, it says, you know, when things are perfect or when things are not perfect, when things are going good or when things are going bad, you know. So yoga sakuru karmani sangam tyaktva dhananjaya siddhi asiddhyo samabhutva samatvam yoga muchyate. To be equal in the face of difficult times, to be equal in the face of pain. That's yoga. So Guru Maharaj undergoes all this daily. but his consciousness is samatvam. He's actually a true yogi, you know. True yogi is not those people who stand on their heads and they just do some complicated gymnastic posture. True yoga is samatvam, that consciousness that enables you to transcend this. So, and those of us who by his mercy only have observed him for many decades, know that Guru Maharaj has put his body through extreme duress out of love for ISKCON, out of love for Srila Prabhupada, out of love for his disciples. I am originally from Peru. In the 80s, I was sent to Mayapur in the Gurukula, and that's when I began, but only by his mercy, because I have no qualifications whatsoever. That's when I began serving Guru Maharaj, because he was the GBC and is the GBC of Peru. He was also he initiated. He has many disciples from there. So Guru Maharaj went to South America in 1982 till his stroke in 2006. So how many years is that? 92, 2002, 34 years. Not once he stopped visiting his disciples there in South America. Not once. He went to South America at least twice a year, sometimes 3 times a year. His zone is in Chile, Bolivia, Brazil. No, not Brazil, sorry, Chile, Bolivia, Peru, Ecuador. For 34 years, at least twice a year, he would fly there. And I remember only by his mercy, he allowed me to serve him, to be his secretary. I used to buy his tickets. I used to buy a mileage ticket to Santiago, Chile. And Santiago, Chile was his zone, is his zone still. And so, if you know geography, Santiago, Chile is at the bottom of South America. And a little bit farther to south, there is another city called Concepcion. And there was a temple there too. And Guru Maharaj used to joke that that temple is the farthest temple from Mayapur. I'm trying to Google it. I think it is 10,000 kilometers, if I'm not mistaken. You know? No, it is 17,555 flying kilometers distance from Kolkata to Santiago, Chile. So it'll be like 18,000. So I remember Guru Maharaj used to, we used to buy the tickets. We used to buy tickets. And at that time, now it's different. We used to buy a mileage ticket that allowed him to make many stopovers. Anyway, it gets complicated if I explain all this, but I do remember him mentioning all this time, the temple in Santiago, in Concepcion, is the farthest temple from Mayapur. And it was amazing how he would go there. It was amazing how he would visit. And, when you travel so much, you know, it takes a toll on your body. And a lot of his GBCs, a lot of his god brothers, they would tell him not to travel so much, but he refused. And I remember he told me once, he said, look, I have to go and see my disciples. I have seen in other zones, in other places, that when the Guru doesn't visit his disciples, they leave Krishna consciousness. So he said, I'm trying to remember his exact words. He says, I have to, yeah, that's what he said. He said, I have to see them. It is my service. That he viewed his position as a guru as a service. And because of that, of course, traveling so much, his body took a toll, you know. And going back to, I remember, we would buy a ticket. The ticket was from Calcutta to Santiago, Chile. It was a mileage ticket, and it was only valid for 2 months, which allowed 25 stops on each way. If you knew Guru Maharaj at that time, he was in ecstasy when we discovered that ticket. It was around 2,500 US, which was very cheap. But he would squeeze every single stop out of it. Squeeze it. And within 2 months. So I remember we took a trip once. We bought the ticket. And we went, this may not be exact, but it's an approximation. We went Calcutta, we went to Poland, to Warsaw, then we went to Rome, and then we went to, so it was, Calcutta, Warsaw, Rome, Copenhagen, Stockholm, back to Copenhagen, London, Miami, Atlanta, North Carolina, back to Atlanta, New Orleans, Mississippi, and then back to Miami. Then we went Ecuador, Lima, Santiago to Chile, Bolivia, Sao Paulo, back to Miami, Atlanta again, New York, Sweden, London. Then we stopped in the Middle East, Bahrain, Dubai, Muscat, Mumbai. He went to Mumbai for some GBC meetings, Delhi, and Calcutta. All within 4 months, 2 months. Yeah, he had so much energy. He was so energetic, and it was very complicated because we had to match the GBC meeting. Oh, and Ratha Yatra festivals. He never wanted to miss a single Ratha Yatra festival, but we had to accommodate all that within that ticket. And he did that so many years, till the stroke actually, in 2006. And he would do it because, again, out of love for ISKCON, he never missed a single GBC meeting. Never. You know. And if there were temples that were in problems, if there were temples that needed help, he would be there, even if it was outside his zone. And of course, his zone and his disciples. He never, not once, neglected, not once. He never once said, oh, I'm not feeling well, I will not take this trip. He never once said, I'm not feeling well, I will not go to this meeting. He never once said, I'm not feeling well, I will not see my disciples. Not once. When he was healthy, and he still carries the same consciousness right now. Despite all this, he doesn't like missing GBC meetings. He doesn't like. Now it's a bit limited. Can you do? But Mahavaraja Prabhu told me that, was it 2016, if I'm not mistaken, when he had his kidney transplant and his liver transplant in one day. And he was in that hospital in Chennai and he was intubated, completely intubated. You know, I think it was a week after the transplant. There was some GBC meetings. He insisted that he would attend the meetings on Zoom, online. He insisted. And then I was talking to Radha Sundari. She is my friend's Ananda Tirtha Prabhu's wife. They are both the GBC secretary. They organize the Zoom conferences and all that. So he asked her, sent her a message. Guru Maharaj sent her a message saying, look, I'm intubated. You know, would it be okay if I turn off the camera on the Zoom meeting? Because, you know, it may cause some distraction for the meetings. So that's his consciousness. So objectively speaking, we cannot deny that we are witnessing something so fabulous, something so amazing, something so wonderful, something so transcendental. And it is our good fortune, at least from my side. You know, I don't think I deserve this. Of course, all of you wonderful devotees are different. You are more pious, you know. Vijay Prakash Prabhu, all of you are so dedicated to Prabhupada's mission, you know. But from my side, I feel, hold on, what have I done to deserve such wonderful blessing, to be able to see this? But that's another feature of Guru Maharaj. His unconditional kindness, his unconditional loving support for everyone. So, thank you for inviting me. Thank you for allowing me to purify myself in glorifying Guru Maharaj. You know, this is amazing what you're doing. I would love to stay with you throughout this entire program, but I have scheduled a few classes at a few conferences. So I'll stop here. If anybody has any comment or question, we can attempt and try to answer. Thank you.
Jayapataka Swami Maharaja ki jai. Divine Grace Prabhupada ki jai. His Grace Prem Vikas Prabhu ki jai. Thank you so much, Prabhu. That was a
Yeah.
glorification of
Yeah.
Guru Maharaj. Very, very ecstatic that so blessed we are to have your appreciation of Guru Maharaj. We served Guru Maharaj for wonderfully for so many decades now. 80s in my Brahmachari. We have been in secretary. So I've got a couple of questions. If anybody wants to ask, please go ahead.
Prabhu, we can't hear you properly.
Can't hear me?
It's little.
Too soft, Prabhu. Can't hear you at all.
Can you hear me now better?
Yeah, it's better now.
Yes, Prabhu.
Okay. I'll sit here. No problem. So, Premikas Prabhu, got a couple of questions. Unless somebody has, please stop me. When was your first meeting with Guru Maharaj, and how do you become convinced that he is your Guru Maharaj and you like to surrender to him? You can share us experience, Prabhu. That'll be great.
1982, if I'm not mistaken, I met Guru Maharaj for the first time. There's a picture actually somebody just sent me. I'll try to dig it up. But yeah, 1992. I was a kid. I mean, I was 11 years old at that time, and just the size of Guru Maharaj, how big and tall he was, really shook my world. And I took initiation in 1983. But the real is when I went to Mayapur in 1984 that I started to have a very close look at the personality of Guru Maharaj. Mind you, I was 13, 14 years old at that time. But by Krishna's mercy, he allowed me to see some glimpses of the kind of personality that he was. You know, what an exalted Vaishnava he was. I'll tell you an event that happened in 1984 that to this so it's 40 years, right? That to this day impacted me to my core, and that I see it as one of the life lessons that Guru Maharaj gave me. I can't find that picture. I'll find it and I'll send it to you. That Guru Maharaj gave me, and I think I will take this lesson to my tomb. At that time, Guru Maharaj, they had brought, so Guru Maharaj was a pioneer, you know, he was a visionary. He was one of the first leaders in ISKCON who introduced computers in ISKCON. Really? So he bought a computer in 1984. At that time, a lot of you are computer engineers. I know that, you know, you do. You work in IT. So you would know that I think it was in 1986 that the DOS system came. We're talking before Windows.
DOS,
disk operating system, right? But before DOS, because DOS was created by IBM. I know all this because I was there in the office when Guru Maharaj was going through all this. I'm not a computer engineer. So DOS was introduced by IBM, but before DOS, and they standardized, right? After the IBM introduced DOS, then all the other companies, they adopted DOS as their standard operating system. So there was only two systems, the Mac and the DOS. But before DOS, there were many other operating systems that were very, what's the word? You know, they were just random in a sense. So the first computer Guru Maharaj brought was not run on DOS, was run on CPM.
microprocessor.
Yes, and CPM was before DOS. So it was a huge computer, and there was this little screen in the middle. And why Guru Maharaj bought that computer was because he he wanted to create a database for his disciples. Before, all the disciples' names were just written in a black book. Same thing like Prabhupada had. But Prabhupada gave an instruction to Guru Maharaj that he should initiate at least 50,000 people. And again, Guru Maharaj took these instructions so seriously. Everybody told him it's impossible. But no, he doesn't take no for an answer. And in 1984, so we're talking 40 years ago, he bought a computer thinking that he's going to need a computer in order to keep track of the 50,000 people that he's going to initiate. So he bought that, and some computer programmer devotee programmed a database for that system. And I learned typing at that time. I learned typing from a typewriter, but I was entrusted by His mercy a service of entering the data, especially the Spanish disciples, because I was the only Spanish-speaking person there. So I could read, the different names and addresses and all that. So the devotee who had programmed the database, the fields, right, the database fields, he had put a field there that said blooped. And in ISKCON lingo, blooped means he's left Krishna consciousness. So blooped. And then I was supposed to write in that field yes or no, if the devotee had blooped or not blooped. So I was typing the devotees' names into the database. And then Guru Maharaj came into the office. I got up, paid my obeisances, and he said, "Now continue your service." So I sat down and I continued typing. And then he saw that I was putting yes to this devotee that had blooped. And then he looked at it. And then he looked to the screen even closer. And he was like, and then he got very upset. He started yelling at me. He said, "Why are you doing this?" And I was like, "Why are you typing this?" I just replied, because I was told that I should enter if the devotee had blooped or not blooped. I was scared, of course. And then he said, "Who programmed this? Who put that field there?" And then the devotee computer programmer came. And then he asked him, "Why did you do this?" And the devotee said, "Well, you have disciples who live Krishna consciousness." And I will never forget his reply. The devotee said, "Yes, but it's a reality. You have disciples who live Krishna consciousness." And Guru Maharaj said, "But they can always come back." So I've meditated on this for many years. And we all interact with people, with devotees, with family. And most of our interactions are based on our perceptions of people, how we look at them. And our perceptions of people are often based on what is happening right now that is actually limited. But I realized that Guru Maharaj's perception of his devotees was not limited to their current state. He always had faith in people. He had faith in his disciples. He still does. And it is that faith that he has in his disciples where he's able to see beyond their faults, beyond whether they are practicing Krishna consciousness at this moment or not, beyond whether they are being strict or not. And when the guru, when your spiritual master looks at you in this way, he's blessing you directly. No matter what you're going through, you will always be Krishna conscious. So, again, I'm recalling this incident 40 years later. So it was in those times that I was young, but I was able to see what personality we have in front of us. You know? Okay. So then it started there, and then many years came. Then we traveled. I became a secretary, and he's always been very kind, very. Even now, when I went back and spoke to him, he's always. He's a guru too. You know, he can also correct you. Oh, he's corrected, and he can be very heavy. But I've never seen him treat someone, anybody, especially his disciples, with anything but love, pure love. I'm sorry, what was your question? so I met him.
It's all nectar, whatever you say.
So that's 9.
What inspired you to get initiated from Guru Maharaj, and how was your first,
Well, at that time, again, I was a child, so I just saw him a guru, and I said, all right, I'll take initiation. But I think a better answer for me is what inspires me to continue under his shelter.
Okay. All right.
And what inspires me to continue under his shelter is the quality of a Vaishnava that he is. And I must add, too, also the quality of a human being that he is. The quality of a personality he is. He's surrendered to Krishna. His devotion, his dedication, his superhuman strength is an inspiration to me. In moments where I face difficulties, in moments where I face challenges, all I need to do is I need to meditate on him. And then whatever challenges I'm facing, they are ridiculous in comparison to what he faces. And that, that actually makes me feel blessed and fortunate, that he allows me to be still under his shelter. Allows us, all of us, to be under his shelter. All right?
Thank you, Lord. Thank you so much. That's wonderful. Please, let us appreciate his grace, Premika Prabhu, the big Haribo.
Haribol, Prabhu.
Haribol. Like I said, I would love to stay with you. It's just that I have conferences and classes that I must attend to. So
Sure, Prabhu.
I have to leave now.
Yes, Prabhu. I appreciate you making time. At short notice, I called you and you just jumped in. You are a great inspiration for us, Prabhu.
It is just our service. Anytime you want to, please let me know.
Sure. Thank you.
It's for my benefit.
His name is Swami Prabhu ki
Jai.
jai.
Hare
Guru Maharaj ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Okay. So we'll chant the Dhanvantari prayers now. And Narsim Kavacha. Let's start with Narsim Kavacha prayers. I'll ask Latisha Prabhu to lead the chanting of Narsim Kavacha prayers. And after that, we'll chant the Dhanvantari prayers and put it on the group. And then we'll have our Kirtan and Guru Puja and Kirtan at the end. Of course, Prasadam for those who are here face to face. For Zoom Vasis, you should just imagine.
I'm missing the Prasadam, Prabhu.
You're making, okay. Okay. Good time. You have to have your own. Okay, let's start with the Narsim Kavacha prayers. Yep. Please come to- Huh? We'll chant together. We'll chant together. We'll chant together. Yes, please start.
Shinashima Vakshe Prahlade Pura Sarvarakshakaram Punyam Sarvopadravanashanam Sarvasampatkaram Chaiva Swarga Moksha Pradayakam Yarpa Narashimam Devesham Hema Simhasana Sthitam Vivritasya Trinayanam Sharadindu Samaprabham Lakshmayalingitavamagam Vibhuti Rupashitam Chaturbhujam Komalangam Swarna Kundala Shobhitam Saroja Shobhito Rasam Ratnakeyura Mudritam Tapta Kanchana Sankasham Pita Nirmala Vasasam Indraji Sura Maulishta Spuran Manike Dipidi Virajita Padadandam Shankachakradi Kritivi Garudvata Cha Vidya Sriyamanam Janitam Swagrit Kamala Sambasam Shimo Gurudeva Rakshata Sambhavan Sarvagopi Sambhava Phalam Gurudevasya Rakshatu Devasya Drishopatu Soma Surya Agrilochanaham Smrita Gurudevasya Patu Narahari Muni Varya Stuti Priya Dasham Gurudevasya Sumanasastu Kam Lakshmi Priya Sarva Vidyadi Phalapatu Narashim Rasana Gurudevasya Patna Indvadanam Sada Pralada Vandita Narshimapatu Gurudevasya Kantam Sandav Gurudevasya Divya Sodita Bujara Narshimapatu Gurudevasya Bujara Karo Gurudevasya Deva Varado Narshimapatu Sarvatara Hridayam Yogi Sadhisha Nivasham Patu Gurudevasya Hari Madhyam Patu Hiranyaksha Vaksha Kukshi Vidaranaka Navi Gurudevasya Patu Narahari Swanabi Brahma Samsudara Brahmanda Koteya Katyam Yasya Saupatu Gurudevasya Kati Gurudevasya Patu Guhyana Pantranam Gurya Rupadrak Guru Manobhava Patu Janu Nara Rupadrak Tangi Patu Dharmara Akhayo Sonara Keshari Surarajya Pradopadu Padu Gurudevasya Naraharishara Saraswati Sarvashaga Padu Gurudevasya Sarvashattanam Mahograra Bhumutara Padu Mahaviharna Sunitara Mahavishnu Dakshinetu Mahajwalastu Nainitara Pashchime Patu Sarvesho Dishi Gurudevasya Sarvatmaka Narashimha Patu Vayamyam Saumyam Bhushana Vigraha Ishanyam Patu Bhadro Gurudevasya Sarvamangala Dayakara Samsara Dayatara Patu Mrityo Mrityur Narakeshari Idam Narashimha Kavacham Prahlada Mukamanditam Bhaktimani Pate Nisyam Sapape Chide Putravan Dhanavan Jnane Yam Yam Kamete Kamam Tam Tam Prapnoti Akamshayam Sarvatra Jayam Apnoti Sarvatra Vijay Bhave Bhumi Antariksha Divyana Kuchikora Sambhuta Vishapa Karanam Param Aparatha Seva Guru Sarana Karanam Jeva Kale Patra Siddhe Kartvase Devasara Manushye स्वमेव जयते एकसन्ध्यं त्रिसन्ध्यं वा यत्नेयतोनः सर्वमङ्गलमाङ्गल्यं च मे द्वादशसहस्राणि पदे सुधामनम् कवचस्य मन्त्रस्य अनेन मन्त्रराजेन कृत्वा वा स्वामी तिलकं निवेशयस्तु तस्य त्रिवारं जपमानस्तु दत्तं पार्यापि मन्त्रे च प्रसायेत्यो नरमन्त्रशिवध्यानमन्त्रे तस्य रोगहरषन्ति यत् प्रकृतिसम्पदः गर्जन्तं गर्जयन्तं निजभुजपतलं स्फोटयन्तं हरन्तं रूपयन्तं स्थापयन्तं दिविदिव्यं शेषयन्तं शिवन्तं क्रन्दन्तं रोषयन्तं दिशिदिशिपतलं संवरन्तं परन्तं वीक्षन्तं पूर्णयन्तं करनिकरशतै दिव्यसिंहाभिरामं नमामि श्रीनरसिंहकवचं सम्पूर्णं हरे कृष्ण कृष्ण
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare.
Gurudev ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai. Can you chant the Dhanvantari mantra?
It's the app.
Lamp.
It's the app.
Okay, Saraswati chant.
Everybody together?
Yeah. We'll repeat after you first time, then we'll get it.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Taraye. Murata Kalasha Hastaya. Sarvamaya.
Sarvamaya.
Ashanaya.
Ashanaya.
Vilokya Nataya.
Nataya.
Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
Vishnave Namaha.
Again, one more time.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Taraye.
Sarvamaya.
Kalasha Hastaya.
Nita Kalasa Astaya.
Sarvamaya. Vinashanaya.
Vinashaya.
Shri Mahavishnave Namaha.
Hare Namaha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Taraye. Amrita Kalasha Hastaya.
Amrita Kalasa Astaya.
Vinashanaya.
Sarvamaya Vinashaya.
Trailokya Nataya.
Vilayapuryanataya.
Mahavishnave Namaha.
Vishnave Namaha.
Yes. Put in the group. I think everyone got the mantra. Now we can chant together. We want to chant at least 11 times. I got it. Let's chant together. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Sarvantarayo Amrita Kalasa Astaya. Sarvamaya Vinashaya.
Trailokyanataya. Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dhanavantaraye. Amrita Kalasha Hastaya. Sarvamaya Vinashanaya. Trailokyanataya. Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dhanavantaraye. Amrita Kalasha Hastaya. Sarvamaya Vinashanaya. Trailokyanataya. Shri Mahavishnave Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dhanavantaraye. Amrita Kalasha Hastaya. Sarvamaya
Vinashanaya. Vinashanaya Maharaja Shri Maharaja Namaha. Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dhanvantaraye. Amrita Kalasa Sarvamaya Vinashanaya. Vinashanaya Maharaja Shri Maharaja Namaha. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Amritakala Sahasraya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Lokaya Namaya Sri Mahavishwave Namaha Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Nandandanaya Amritakala Sahasraya Sarvamaya Vinashanaya Sri Lokaya Namaya Sri Mahavishwave Namaha
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Krishna
Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Thank you very much. So now we'll have the Guru Puja and Aarti for Maharaj. So thanks to all the devotees who joined online. Thank you, Janaki Raman Prabhu, for facilitating this program. And we are praying for Guru Maharaj. Right now, Prem Vikas Prabhu told us that he's just got the report that he's again in the hospital. And all our prayers will continue. So we'll chant Narsingha prayers now, Namaste Narsinghaya, and then we'll chant. Okay. Who is going to sing Narsingha prayer?
Shalika.
Shalika?
Shalika.
Come on, you have to be quick. Singing or not?
Come here.
Come.
Yes. Everybody can do it.
Yeah, please come. Good. Very good. Start. Namaste.
Namaste Narasimhaya. Namaste
Adbhuta Sita Hiranyakashipu Nandanari Rupa Jai Jai Hare
Jai Jagadish Hare Jaya Jagadish Hare
Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya Narasimhadev
Jaya Narasimhadev Jaya
Narasimhadev
Prahlad Maharaj Jaya, Prahlad Maharaj Jaya, Prahlad Maharaj Jaya, Prahlad Maharaj
Jai
Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj,
Maharaj, Prahlad
Prahlad
Maharaj, Jai Prahlad Maharaj, Prahlad.
Jaya Prabhupada
Prabhupada, Prabhupada,
Jaya Jaya Prabhupada
Jaya
Jai
Jaya
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada,
Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
Jaya Gurudev
Gurudev,
Gurudev Jaya Jaya
Jaya Jaya Gurudev, Gurudev, Jaya Jaya Guru.
Jai Nrsimha Bhagwan ki
Jai.
ki jai. Jai Gurudev ki jai. Prabhupada ki jai.
Krishna.
Gaur Premanande. Thank you, Shalika. Thank you. Okay, we'll have Guru Puja now. Just want to sing the Guru Puja and so that's me. Can you do the Aarti? Aarti tray is there?
Aarti tray.
No. Okay, we'll chant. We'll have the Kirtan, short Kirtan, 5 minutes. We'll have the Aarti.
Yes, fine.
Okay. Use Kirtan here. Aarti throw can include the short Kirtan. Just one minute, Kirtan. No. Hare Krishna.
One after the then he gets a
Aarti tray.
Krishna 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 Hare Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Jayapataka Swami Maharaja. Turn this around.